Tyler, you're crushing it, bro. I know you've been writing 30K a month since the beginning, dude. Team is crushing it. I know you just onboarded like 20 people last week. And so you're crushing it, or last month rather. Dude, let people know. I really want people to know you, know your story, because everyone's going to know you by the end of this year and your group. So to give people a little bit of background on who you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. When I reached out to Joe, I met Joe in my beginnings back when I got started in the industry in 2022. And just like where I was in the business, I was really willing to work hard and like put in a lot of effort, but we didn't have a lot of like industry experience. It's kind of like, hey, just like dial the leads, show up, work. And whenever I like so Joe like in kind of like a crossing paths we met and he was just like super helpful to me a bunch and would jump on the phone with me and like help me out and stuff. And so I realized that there was a lot more to this business than like just working hard. And that's been proved to me over the course of time that I've been in the business. So you can work really hard in the wrong model and it doesn't work, right? And that goes for like every salesperson ever. Like there's so many people in door to door or uh, you know, in-person sales, car sales. There's lots of sales organizations where like even if you work super hard, you still probably won't get the same results as you could if you're in Pinnacle working really hard, right? And I say that because I've done it in a couple of different places. And I was kind of at like, I was just like fed up, frustrated. I had done really well. I'd seen some really big wins, and I had dealt with a lot of challenges and problems because of that. And I had no idea how to take the next steps in my career and like fix it and get better. And when we looked for mentorship, things ended up not working out. And so I texted Joe and I was like, hey man, can I have a conversation with you? And I was like, I want to hear about everything you guys are doing at Pinnacle. And when I talked to Joe like a few years ago, he would always, I felt like he knew stuff that, like very smart business owners would know about their business that a lot of other people didn't where I was. And
Mhm.
so that made me be like really curious. I was like, what are they doing? How are they tracking all this? How are they keeping, persistency so high? How are they able to get appointments set for like no one was teaching us how to do any of that. So when I texted Joe, I was like, dude, I want to hear about everything you guys are doing. I need to make a move. I'm giving this like one more run and I'm going to go all in at it again, like I have been the last 4 years. But, I really want to go somewhere that's going to like, it's going to be built on stone and not sand. And so that's how
Yeah.
I came to Pinnacle. Yeah.
Dude, I love that, man. You're one of those people, like you said that to me. I remember we were on a call, the three of us, and you were like, dude, I've had some wins, had some rough hits. Like I'm either going to Pinnacle or I'm out of the industry. And I was like, oh, dude, the pressure is on. And so like when you win, to see you like building this momentum, dude, it feels personal, Tyler. It feels like every time you have a win, I feel like, dude, it's like I have the win, dude, just as hard or harder, bro. And you made a comment to me that I would really love you to share because we just had an absolute killer on our last call, and you were talking to him, and you were talking about uh you talked about a personal conversation that you had. You're like, yeah, dude, this guy's so concerned about the quality of business and he knows the metrics of what's going on. And you're like, dude, that's literally things I never even heard about. Like, and it's just part of the culture here. So, like, dude, let people know just kind of your experience in the industry and why Pinnacle is so different.
Yeah. And I'll just, preface this with I've had a lot of awesome mentors in my career, but it seems like I haven't had people who have done this business at a high level personally investing in me and my business. And so there's definitely a difference. And that right there showed in that example you just brought up because When I was getting started, it was like just keep selling more, just sell more, just write more business. Just, oh, you have this going on? Like keep writing business, like hammer the phones more, make more phone calls. I got to a point where I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, PST time, getting on the phones at 5 a.m., calling until 8 p.m. If I didn't make 5 sales, I would call Hawaii leads. And I was trying to make 5 sales every single day, Monday through Sunday, because I was trying to write 100K a month. And I was doing it, but it was just like that was the solution. It was just make more phone calls. There was no, you know, we didn't have, I was using phone burner and just hammering it. I mean, that was it. And there was no one else was doing anything else, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there is smarter ways to run the business. And so what I was just telling Gabe this morning was, I was talking to somebody and they were like, yeah, like, we get our agents on dialers right away. We're focused on super high persistency. We're focused on, text blasting with VAs and AI appointment setters. I'm like, dude, you guys have no, yeah, I was just thinking in my head while he was telling me, this guy was telling me this. I was like, man, like this is such an amazing place to get brought into the industry because not everywhere is like that. Like you're not getting that kind of treatment and that kind of care from leadership. And I say this all the time to people if I have a conversation with someone who's been in the business, they're like, oh, you're a Pinnacle now. Why? I'm like, well, number one, all the leadership's actually involved in the organization. Like they're involved in it every single day. So from the top down, everybody cares. And that's been super eye-opening and amazing to be around and be a part of because it feels like constantly there's something that you three are doing to make the organization operate better, which is super helpful for agents that are brand new, that don't know anything about the business. And they come in and they have like this amazing mentor that's like taking care of them because there's been such a great trickle-down effect from the top. So shout out to you guys in all reality for being able to build that because again, like I said, not everywhere is like that. And I worked my face into the floor for years and built something, dealt with a bunch of challenges, and then I'm basically starting over here. And I've had lots of success. I've been shouted out. I've been on flyers. I've been on stages at conventions, and it ended up not like working out long term because, like I said, it wasn't really built on something that was as sturdy as what's being built here.
Dude, I appreciate that a ton. And I mean, dude, to your credit, I mean, just so you guys know, Tyler had two sales before like 8 o'clock this morning. I think they were both like between 6 and 8. He's like, dude, just knocked out two. And so, I mean, nothing works if you don't. And dude, you're coming into this opportunity. And I mean, you weren't confused. Day one, I think you had like one carrier and you were ripping one carrier for like 25K a month. And so, dude, talk about with your experience in this industry, what has this journey like to have this? Because I mean, dude, I mean, you're on an upward spike, dude. Every single month, you're writing, you're bringing in more people, you have more writers. I know you got a big goal this month, but which would sound crazy. You're like, oh, I want to have 30 carriers, but 30 new writers. But like, dude, you just onboarded 15. And so you're putting it in. Dude, tell people what you're doing, the play that you're running.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this business is what's the right word? It's like it's very honest. Like it exactly what you do will show up 60 to 90 days from now. And so you might be like, well, Tyler, like I'm bringing people onto my team. Like, no one's writing any business yet. It's like, well, it takes people time to get licensed and get contracted and get trained and then make the phone calls and get developed into being able to take action, right? So I'm very aware that everything that I'm doing today is going to impact what I'm doing tomorrow, next month, next week. And like you said, I'm not confused. Like I'm very intentional about everything that I'm doing. And you said 15 like it's a lot. Like we're just, my goal is to make a giant impact in the industry because like I said before, there's a lot of people who are just like me in the business who are working super hard or in any kind of sales opportunity that don't have a good setup. They don't own their business. They're working for somebody else, getting paid the wrong commission, whatever the case is. And they're out there grinding and not getting anything for it. And I say that in like financial terms, but also like just like being able to live a life that they actually want and they're working really hard, right? Um, so to answer your question, like here's what I do in the business. I teach the business and I run the business like this. Every single day, five presentations. And some people I think, may be like, well, like if a new agent came to me and they're like, Tyler, like I made this presentation, this guy didn't buy, like what happened? I'm like, well, what about the other four? They're like, well, I made one. I'm like, well, that's not the rules of the game. The rules of the game are you make 5 presentations a day. Because even if you stink and you can get 5 presentations a day if you're spending like $1,000 on leads, you can get 25 presentations a week. Okay. And so if you can get the activity behind dialing, setting appointments, VAs, texting, whatever, you can get 5 presentations a day, right? 5 days a week, working 40 hours a week, because the way that we do it is 2 dial sessions a day. It's 2 4-hour sessions. And then you do 2 to 3 presentations per session. Like if you're not on the phones trying to find someone to talk to, you should be running an appointment. You shouldn't just be like scrolling on Instagram, hanging out. You should be actively trying to find an appointment. Right. And so what I do is every single day, 2 sessions, 4 hours long, minimum. I'm dialing outbound, I'm running appointments, setting appointments, talking to people, trying to make sales. And so I'm getting two presentations in the first 4 hour window and probably three in the second. I'm getting 5 a day. And here's the thing, even if you stink, you have a 20% closing percentage, you still write 5 deals a week. The number one problem in the business is people don't work their leads enough. Like we
Yeah.
all know that, right? Like the number one issue that people have is they're like, I made a presentation, I bought $1,000 of leads. Tyler, what's wrong with my pitch? I'm like, well, nothing. Like I got told no 3 times. You're gonna get told no 3 times.
Before having the
Yeah.
coverage go week
And
and
in reality, there's nothing actually wrong with what you're doing. You're just not doing it enough. In this industry, it's just like baseball. Like you could bat a 30% batting average and be in the Hall of Fame. You can be an all-star in baseball. In our business, you could go 30% in closing and still be an all-star, but you got to be willing to eat 7 no's to get your 3 deals. And so there's
Yeah.
an attitude switch that has to happen from I need to get every single person to buy to I just need to get enough offers out to win. And that's me. That's all on me. And that's why I love this business so much because when I got started, we can go down that story another day, but I mean, maybe it's good for now. I got started with 11 cents in my bank account. I took out a loan for $1,500 and I just put it all into leads. And I was like, I need to work my way into a better position. And you can work your way into or out of whatever position you want in this industry. When I got started here, I've made money before, but I was not in a good financial position. And I had to work my way into a better financial position. And I was able to do that not once in my career, but now twice in my career using this industry. And that's why I love it so much, is because it's on you. And if you're willing to make the calls and the dials, you can create whatever you want here. I have 3 people that work for me. I'm funding, I'm living my life. I'm funding 3 admins that do contracting, onboarding. They work with my agents in pre-licensing. They follow up with my people in onboarding, contracting. I think I just said that. I'm just really excited about contracting, I guess. Um, I have a dialer now. I have someone who does all our marketing, outbound DMs on Instagram and Facebook. We're getting a lot done, and it's all stemming from my personal sales. And so, again, you can sell your way into or out of whatever position you're in your financial situation right now. And you're like, well, maybe I have old leads. There's sales in there. Maybe you have some leads. There's more sales in there than what you're calling right now. The question is, are you going to dial them? Right? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of training. Yeah, we can go on and on. But
No, dude. I mean, dude, you're speaking nothing but
Okay.
gold, dude. You're making me think about my first week in this industry, and I was one of those guys, Tyler. I'm ashamed to admit it, where my first week I was in an office from 8 to 8, but when I got asked what my dials were, I'm like, first time I didn't know. Second time I actually recorded them, and they were like 100, and I was like, oh, you worked a full day and you dialed 100, and then I had to learn what hard work was, even though I'd been in door-to-door sales for a decade. I had to learn what that was here. So, dude, you're preaching. Paul, Joe, I've been hogging it, guys. Please.
I
I
mean, I
definitely.
got I
Oh,
got a
sorry,
full page
Paul.
of notes, so I'm just enjoying just sitting here and hearing you speak, Tyler, because it's like oftentimes, I guess it would be not oftentimes, it needs to be more oftentimes when somebody's speaking, you're like, oh, that's it, that's the ticket. And the one thing that 18 years of being in this business comes with is like being able to identify like the common concepts that lead to massive success, bro. And you're hitting all of them, man. Like I absolutely love it. Even like your first sentiment of like building this on sand opposed to the rock. That was for me what I was looking at with a partnership and coming on board with my experiences, like was making sure like I was joining a company that was built on the rock. And that was not just like, systems and practices and all this stuff, yes, is important, but it was like it was the character. Like, is it the right DNA? Because success will blow when the wind comes, but if it's built on the rock, if it's built on significance, where you really care about the people, you want to serve the people, you have the best interest for the people, well, then what you do is you build the people, and the people that are building, they're gonna build a business, right? And so the focus is, how do I grow people and use a company to grow people, opposed to how do I grow a company and use people to grow the company. And like, I saw that all over every conversation that I had with Joe and Gabe and the team. And as you're saying that, man, I'm smiling because like I've been a witness of that every day that I have a conversation. Every day I get to lean in and listen to a guy like you, Tyler, communicate. It's just evidence to support the fact that, the DNA is right, because it's top down, right? Like, it's the same thing when I go to the office this morning and I see that DNA show up. It's because it's built on the rock. It's built on the right thing. And so I just love that, man. And I got a whole page of notes, but Joe, Joe, you add to it. I mean, just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Can you guys hear me okay? I'm out in public. I want to make sure you're not getting too much noise pollution.
Oh,
No,
you're
we can
good.
hear
Uh,
you.
I want to give Tyler like a massive compliment, but I also want to speak to the builders on the call for a second, and give you guys a thought that has really helped me a lot in business. Let me mentor you guys a little bit for a minute. I talked to Tyler. Tyler, we met maybe last week or the week before. It all starts to run together in my head. But we met. We had a great conversation, and I paid you a compliment, and I meant every word of it. So I'll say it publicly. You're one of those guys, Tyler, that anybody ever in any business would be more than lucky to have as a business partner. And I knew that the day I met you. It was very obvious. I saw Sean Connor just typed out, this guy's energy and attitude are contagious, because it's true. Like, you're magnetic. And here's the mentor lesson for you builders out there. So please pay attention to this, because if you learn this concept, it's going to pay you massive dividends in your future. When I met Tyler at a time when he was working with a different insurance group, and I got tapped on the shoulder, and someone said, "Hey, can you fly out to Arizona and just give these guys some sauce, help them understand a little bit about building a profitable business and the importance of persistency and all of these things." This was specifically, it was October of 2022. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I go out there, and it took me like 14 seconds to figure out that Tyler was the guy. It was very, very obvious. And I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. Did you think for 1 second that I didn't think the minute I met Tyler, man, I wish I could work with this guy? Of course I did. When you meet somebody that's as sharp as Tyler, you're thinking, man, oh man, I wish this guy was working inside of my organization. I wish he was my business partner. But Tyler will tell you, I don't know. I probably spent Tyler over the last 3 years, 7, 8 hours with you. And every one of those times, I never tried to recruit Tyler once. Never once. Some of y'all are like, "Joe, you're a bad recruiter. Why did you try to recruit him?" Well, for one, I respect boundaries, and I love the fact that he was loyal to the soil where he was. I love that. That was like the biggest green flag of all for me. And some of y'all, here's the mistake you make. You try and hold all your quote unquote secret sauce, and you refuse to provide value to anybody that you're not making money on. That is your Achilles heel. I promise you. I had no idea Tyler and I would ever get a chance to work together. I had no idea. But I saw a dude that was grinding his butt off, truly cared about people. Every time we talked and he had questions for me, it was always about, how do I make sure I'm a better leader to the people that I'm leading? How do I make sure my agents are more profitable? He was asking all the right questions every single time. And I just thought to myself, man, if I could help him get 1% better, I don't know if we'll ever get a chance to work together. But man, oh man, like,
I
that would be
tweaked
an
them,
amazing thing to do.
put them in the
And
folder operational
one of
perspective.
you guys need to hit mute. Thank you. So Tyler, it came full circle. Here we are. And now I have the blessing to get to work with you. I absolutely love it. So the lesson, guys, is value always comes first. Provide value everywhere you go. Make it your goal to provide value everywhere you go, and the money always follows. Some of y'all want it the other way around, and it simply does not work that way.
Yep.
It simply doesn't. And the reason that Tyler is so successful, he understands that. I remember talking to Tyler 3 years ago. Tyler said, "Hey, how can I help you? What can I do? You're providing me value. How can I provide value back?" That's why Tyler's a winner. He's a winner, and he's about to win in ways that he hasn't won in this industry before. And I'm so excited for you, Tyler. Like, I mean that, dude. I love you. And I feel like honored and blessed to have you here at Pinnacle. So, Paul, I'm sure you got a bunch of questions. I just wanted to share that. It was a really important piece of how this whole thing came full circle.
Yeah, and I think it goes perfectly with something that you said, Tyler, like how this business is so honest, right? It'll reveal areas in your life and character things that you might be stuck in. And be clear, like we all get stuck in them. We're not just like, hey, we got to figure it out. Look, you got to do certain things every day to develop those disciplines to stay in the right alignment with the assignment that you've got to build something great, to make great impact. And Joe, just to your point, to kind of tie that in is like when you said, Tyler, like, hey, this business, like, so I look at it like this. Today, every day you ask yourself, what am I reaping? And then what am I sowing? What you're reaping is from a 90-day backcast. So Joe, all those conversations, like, and it's difficult as a salesperson because you want to reap what you sow really quick. Like delayed gratification is nothing that we're all great with. Like, I think I speak to all of us where it's like, I want it now, like, let's go. Um, but in this business, like it's a little bit delayed on the business. You got to just continue to sow seeds and not care what's going to take root and what's going to produce fruit. Like you just continue to cast seeds. And so whatever you're reaping today, that's because of what you sowed 90 days. So it's a great kind of like, it reveals what you were doing in the past and then what you're sowing today. Don't get weary and doing well. Don't get complacent because you can be complacent today and tomorrow, the next day with building your business, and you won't even know it yet because it'll show up 90 days. So you always got to ask yourself, what am I reaping today? But what am I also sowing today? It makes a big difference. For you, Tyler, it sounds like you got a really good handle on like personal growth, mindset. Like what's helped you with that? And how has that been such an instrumental part with you seeing success that you've seen?
Yeah. And I just appreciate everything you guys said. Really grateful to be here. And I mean that. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm like a normal guy, I use Crest toothpaste and Old Spice deodorant, and but I like investing in myself, and I think that accumulates over time. And I think another thing is just being serious. Like, I mean, I love having fun. I have a great attitude. Like, I love living life in general, but I love this business. So like, I have fun with it. Like, I love chatting with agents. I'm texting people, closing deals. Like, we're on Zoom all day, dialing together, me and my group. Like, we make it fun, and that helps a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're if you want to like, I think a lot of people, it's easy to be like, well, I want to become successful. I want to make money. I want to build a big organization. I want to have a big impact. But it's like, you may not be the kind of person who can handle that. You may not have the capacity of what like a leader actually needs to be to impact 50 people on your team that are all making over $5,000 a month in cash flow, right? Like, so there's a certain level of this where you could recruit an entire organization to build something. But again, I love this example and I give it sometimes. But if you're starting to get into the business, right? I'm gonna kind of circle this back in 2 seconds, but follow me here. If you got into the business and you wanted to build an organization and you came in and you're like ripping and roaring and you're ready to go sell, and you came in and you started selling, imagine you're in like a paddle, like a little canoe, and you have an oar and you're like paddling like this. I heard this from a good friend, and you're paddling and you're paddling on the right side of the boat and you're just going in a circle, which is fine because you're making money, but you're not really progressing your organization. Stage two would be, hey, you get a couple people in the boat. Some people are rowing on that side, some people are rowing on this side, and now you're starting to move somewhere because you have rowing on this side and this side, right? Well, what happens is if you're not a developed leader, if you're not somebody who's constantly working on themselves, whether it's listening to people who are smarter than you, plugging in, being at live events, like just being around people, you will become the average of the people that you spend time with, no matter what. Like whether it's watching TV and you watch a lot of Family Guy, you're gonna become a comedian, clown, laughing, sarcastic person. If you listen to a lot of Paul McLean on YouTube, you will start speaking like Paul McLean. You'll start thinking like Paul. You'll start to become that person. Like that's literally what happens. And uh, what happens a lot of times in the business, from what I've seen at least, is people start thinking, oh, I've got this team, I'm successful, I'm making money. And then they get up and they stand on the back of the boat and they start telling everybody else what to do. And people want to follow a leader, someone who's in the fight with them. And then that organization, right? Because you're not a developed leader, you don't know how to handle that organization. Those people go, I want to find a leader who actually is in the business with me. I want to go find somebody that can teach me, that can train me, that's with me every single day. Not just, I'm out here facing all the rejection. This guy's just telling me what to do. Right. And then people will look for a new leader. Right. So there's a piece of it where you have to become a better version of yourself if you actually want the results that you want. And again, it's very honest. It's me. It's on me. I'm taking accountability and responsibility for these things. I have to live life looking in the mirror, not looking out the window, pointing and blaming something else. And so to answer your question, Paul, like, yes, I'm around people that do better than me. I don't hang out with anybody my age. I literally only spend time with people that are older than me. And you might be like, well, I have some friends that are my age. I mean, if you really want to become super successful in your life, like I would try to spend more time with these people right here, like I'm trying to get in rooms and around people who are doing better than me. I'm actively seeking people out. I like make lists of people that I want to spend time with, ask questions to. And I think that it's being intentional. And I mean, we all only have so much time on earth in this business, whatever. Like I'm trying to make the most of it. And I know that I've grown really quickly in a short amount of time personally and in this business. And I've had seasons where I don't in my life and in this business. And I just don't want to waste any time.
So good, man. I want to camp out here real quick, Tyler, because what you're saying is so good, and you kind of alluded already to a couple non-negotiables, right? Like a non-negotiable for you is 2 4-hour time blocks and 5 presentations, and guys, like pick that up because like non-negotiables, it gives you such a sense of like personal growth and fulfillment because like now you're not chasing an outcome. It's like if I just do this, the outcome will come. Kind of spend some time talking about some of the key non-negotiables. For one, add some of those to the business side. Like what are some other non-negotiables that you kind of like, I love what you said, like rules to the business, right? Like rules to your business. Like this is just what I do. I don't have to think about it. I don't negotiate with it. I don't compromise with it. This is just what it is. So I don't care how I feel in a moment and what my feelings are. If I'm overwhelmed, if I'm stressed, if I'm anxious, if I feel like I'm off my game, like this is just a non-negotiable. So I don't let my feelings lead me. I lead by my non-negotiables. Talk about more some of the other business non-negotiables you've got, but also some non-negotiables with personal development and growth. If you have those, like if it's like every day you read for 10 pages or every you don't miss a call or you're on taking notes or gratitude journal, like after what like maybe some non-negotiables that help you develop a character that you can lead the right way, right? Where people want to follow you, but also some non-negotiables again in the business. I think let's camp there because those are probably things that when people leave, they're very practical and they're things that they will move the needle if you just start to implement a couple more non-negotiables in your life.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think most importantly, if you take care of you, you'll become a better version of yourself, and then you'll have the capacity and the ability to be a better version of yourself in business, right? So if you take care of yourself, which I think, would make you happy deep down, which means that you can be more present, peaceful, not as reactive. You can plan. And so you should do that. Like I exercise every day in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just taking a walk around the block, like I'm in a crazy season right now where like I'm working a ton. I bought a pull-up bar so I could do pull-ups and push-ups at home. I'm taking walks around the block because I don't go to the gym every single day. But you should exercise every single day. And I love listening to people who are smarter than me during that time because I'm not on the phone actually talking to people. Every morning I wake up, I spend 30 minutes at least by myself. I have this notebook. It's filled out the day before, but I write down what I'm going to do today. And I always write at the top, it says road to 2 million a month. And my whole idea is if I focus on that every single day, I'm thinking about what am I doing today that's going to help me get towards that progress. Like I need to progress towards that. So how am I moving towards that, right? In the business side of things. So yes, I love reading. I listen to books. I read actual books, podcasts. Like I listen to people who are smarter than me, and not just smarter than me, but like there's kind of, you can listen to people who teach theories and concepts, or you can listen to people who are practically like actually in your business and winning in your business. So I did this when I got started in the industry. I would listen to something every single day, a past training, recorded sale, or something. I would just like remind myself of something that's going to help me progress towards where I want to be. So yes, do something every single day that's going to help you become a better version of yourself. And if you don't do those things, like I'll just give you an example and then we'll talk about the business side. I had a friend, great guy, amazing family. I grew up with a single mom, no dad in the picture, food stamps, getting kicked out of houses, evicted. We're lying to our school district about where we lived, literally living at other people's houses because my mom wanted us to graduate from this school that was prestigious and had a good graduation rate. And kid in that school, 4.0 GPA in high school, like super smart athlete, like went to college, got like a 4.0 GPA, really good degree. That guy hung around people who drank a lot, did drugs. We're in completely different positions in today. Okay. So who he was hanging around, who he was spending time with affected him not in 10 days. It's fun. They're hanging out, going to the bars, laughing, having a good time. But man, it's been what, 9 years now since I graduated high school. That person's in a completely different boat than where I am, where I was constantly looking for people who are doing better than me, constantly trying to learn new things from people that were going to help me get to where I want to go. I mean, that's literally how I met my fiance. Like, if I didn't do those things, I would have never met her, which is crazy. And side quest, like if you're not on the same page with your partner in this business, you should sit down and be like, here's what I want to happen, here's where I want to go. This is exactly what I see this becoming. I want us to have this lifestyle. This is where we should go together. This isn't like, and shout out to Selena. She's been amazing, so supportive. Even like during some rocky times, she's like, it's cool, like we're together on this. Like, so you want to be on the same page with the people who are closest to you because they will have the biggest influence over you, right? Just a note. And Selena's been amazing, like times 1,000 in every area around that. Super supportive, always wanting me to do the best that I can, but also like being realistic about where we were at and just like being honest with me, telling me the truth when I needed it.
Hey, Taylor, real quick, I got to add something to it. I mean, this is so good. Um, if you've not done that, like if your spouse or whoever you're in a relationship with is complaining about the sacrifices that you know are needed to be made to get to the goal that you want, they probably don't know the payoff and where you're going with clarity. You got to cast that vision so clear of where you're going to go, the payoff, why it's going to be so good, so that way they can endure the pain with you. If not, then all they see is the pain because you've not done a good job as a leader in the home forecasting the vision of where you're going. So now all they see is sacrifice, all they see is pain, all they see is that you're gone. All they see, that's all they see. They see the financial situation where it's like, man, you're making all this money where and they don't know that you got to staff up, that you got to build a business, that it takes more time. You got to make sure you sit down and really paint that picture of where you're going, and then what you'll see is the complaints tied to pain will start to fall by the wayside. So absolutely love that. And I just think that maybe is for somebody on here today that's like you keep putting good things in. Like a lot of what you're talking about, Tyler, is good consumption. Like you have a great consumption routine, like you're consuming good podcasts, good books, good association. And the reality is you need to, so that way when you're squeezed, because you will get squeezed in this business, right? As you go to the next level, there's giants in those in that middle ground. What comes out is what you've put in when you're squeezed. And so great consumption has been obviously a big part of what you've done. But man, what a big point, because like if you've not done that and you're consuming a bunch of good stuff, but then you go home and the person's not on the side as you are, and they start to take out that good consumption and build and tear down the belief because of the complaints, maybe just pause and ask yourself, how good of a job have you done to really forecast that vision? So I love that, man. Great point.
Yeah, and again, like coming back to the 90 days thing, like even if you did like get all the results that you wanted and everything, right? Like, I mean, think about it. Like, if you weren't developed into the person who is capable of leading that organization, like I've been like, hey, I need help. Like, I'm searching externally for that. And that is something that it will happen if you're not there, able, and ready to be able to like handle it, right? So even, people, I think that you need to accept this as like this is your new lifestyle. Like you're gonna invest in yourself. You're gonna invest in your team. You're gonna spend time in the business. Like, I think it's like a thing on social media where like you can just like buy back all your time and like go live at the beach. I don't know. I don't really want to do that. Like, this is a lifestyle for me. This is what I do every day. I love impacting people. There's a lot of people out there that, in my mind, they need to be saved. That we need to bring them here. We need to teach them. We need to help them win in the business, and they're not going to be able to do that where they're at. They may be able to short term, but it's not going to be long term. Like I've experienced, like so. To tie back to your question though, like in the business, my non-negotiables very simple. Every day, I bring in new people or do everything that I can to train the people that we have, and I write business. I mean, I ask people to like, who would have knew if you ask a bunch of people to buy insurance and to join our organization, they do, right? And that's the business is it's very simple. You take care of the people you have, you constantly are trying to bring in more, and then you're asking new people to buy the product that we sell. And that's it. So yeah, my calendar's set up. I get leads. I'm running an ad on online to talk to new people about the opportunity. Not everybody shows up to their appointment, just like insurance. Not everybody joins. I have the same exact conversation, just like insurance, every single day, over and over and over. And yeah, people do it.
I love that, dude. You got the same lines, and like that to me, Gabe, probably I think you said the same thing. It's like it feels good when it's not so complex. But then a lot of times we lose the execution because it's not so complex. Like meaning that how well are you at just practicing, drilling, and rehearsing your phone conversation, your presentation when it comes to serving a family with life insurance? And if you don't have that down after like a couple days, I'm just like, do you really know how important that is? It's simple. So have you lost the execution because it's so simple? Like, yes, it's simple, but are you executing it at the highest level? Like, if I gave you a script and you're going to be a paid actor and they got to learn all kinds of lines for an hour and a half film, a lot of these paid actors make no money unless you're elite. They learn it, right? But yet, after like a couple days, you get on a phone call with somebody and they're like, they don't know the intro, they don't know pauses, they don't know the transition. It's like, dude, do you just know if you practice, drill, and rehearse this over and over again? It's that simple because the clients are not getting on a Zoom today saying, all right, guys, Tyler's gotten good. We got to come up with some new objections. We're really going to throw this guy off. I mean, like he's getting us. We're gonna cultivate some new ones. No, it's the same freaking think about it. It's the same. I got to talk to my kids. It's the same. I want to get a quote. Same. I'm not interested. Same. I got to go. It's the same objection. So like, have you? You should be able to know it that quick if you're really serious about this business. And it's the same thing that translates into building and recruiting. It's the same questions. It's the same vision. It's the same package. Once you have that down, you have it down. And we have all the scripts for that. So it's super simple, but are you executing where it's actually inside of you? Where when you get thrown off the script, you're able to navigate right back to it and stay on course because it's internalized. And so I absolutely love that. Gabe, go ahead and whatever question you've got. I know you're probably thinking,
It's funny, Tyler. I think a lot of people think they get into this industry and they get so wrapped up with trying to do things perfect.
yeah,
And I remember I go back to I'm hearing you talk and I'm going back to the days of when I would train people in person. We spend a whole day out in the field together and I'd turn to them and be like, "Hey, did you hear me do anything that you feel like you couldn't do?" And a lot of times this would be people been a couple of weeks in, brand new, maybe they've ran a couple of appointments, maybe they haven't yet, but the answer would always be no. And they would be like, "I mean, you said the same thing in every house." I mean, you even said the same stupid joke and did your little laugh at like the same time. Like they start catching on after seeing it four, five, six, seven times. They're like, it's the same thing every time. And so when I'm hearing you, I'm just hearing simplicity. I'm just figuring out, like, okay, I figured out the play and I just run it and I'm more focused on the reps and my consistency than I am about anything else. And I think for people listening who are still searching for the perfect way to whether it's sell, whether it's recruit, whether it's manage staff, it's not that you don't want to get better. There's always things to improve. But the play is just figuring out what works and putting the reps in your favor and running it consistently. So, I mean, you're breaking it down so simply, dude. I love it.
Yeah. And I mean, shout out to there's a monster on my team. His name's Steven Shacken. He's trying to issue pay, I think like 100 grand one of these months on his personal pen. But he's been with me for, kind of a little while. We've been trying to figure out right the best way to run the business the last few years, and that's why we ended up here. But we've spent a lot of time like going through like what's the best thing to say when, right? And you only know those things by trying and failing and being like, all right, this didn't work. Let's try it this way over here. And then you go back out and you do it again. And it's never perfect. Like we're still learning. We literally like we text, we stay up late and talk on the phone about it, and we're excited, like we're dialing, we're closing deals together, and like we're just constantly like evolving and adapting. You're never going to reach this moment where you like feel 100% ready to make my first call. Like you're never going to feel 100% ready that I can close everybody. No, you're just going to get rejected along the way. It's okay, it happens to all of us. That's why we just get enough offers out every single day so that you can still make sales even when you get rejected, right? And even when I hear I need to think about it, I say the same exact thing every single time. And probably 33% of the time, they let me walk right through it. And then we go right into the app or whatever the number is. It's like 40% maybe. And then I get an extra sale even when they object. And maybe I didn't do a good enough job on the front end, but I'm still super profitable because I'm putting enough offers out every single day. So, yeah, I mean, the business is more simple than people make it. And you can, like I said, like if you're serious about it and you don't want to make excuses and like, beat around the bush of the work, you can sell yourself into whatever position you want and you can sell your way out of whatever financial hole you're in.
I love that. So you've got like this vision, and I think even Gabe just put it in the comments, like having that in front of you. You write it down every single day, and so that's a big tip, guys. If you've got a goal and a vision of where you want to go, are you looking at it all the time? A lot of times we just look at it January 1st, and that's it. And so we wonder why we're off track because we don't have the target in front of us. And so I love the fact that you've done that, and then you've got this big calendar behind you, and I know the calendar you got because I've got it too. It's a great calendar to be able to see the whole year in time block and put things in place. I would love to kind of get to a place where we wrap up with that, like schedule, calendar. To me, if you said explain Tyler after you've listened to him for 45 minutes, I would probably say this seems like a guy that lives an intentional life. Like he's intentional. And so like talk about that, the calendar and what that looks like, how you form that, and why that's so important to be able to go out there and keep you on track towards the goal that you've got.
I mean, it's everything. Like if you're not intentional with your time, somebody else will be intentional with it, and you'll end up doing something for somebody else and living not for yourself. Like, I mean, you'll end up literally wasting time. And I've done it in my life accidentally before, and I've done it, I've had lots of seasons where I've been really intentional. And just over the years, I've realized that if I'm not making the decision of where I want to be, somebody else will for me, and I'll just become like almost like an assistant to somebody else's goal. And it could be anything. I mean, literally, it could be like your parents enjoy complaining to you and you're just like their therapist all of a sudden. But if you're intentional and you're like, I need to not spend an hour on the phone every day listening to my parents complain to me, I could be like, hey, I can't have you just complain to me. If you want to have a productive conversation about how we can fix this, I'd love to do that with you. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore because I'm trying to accomplish this thing. Sorry, I love you, but I can't do that anymore. And then they're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to do that. And then, right, like you're not their assistant therapist person anymore. You have productive conversations with them, and they don't need to last an hour, right? So you just like, and then like, what does that do to you the rest of the week? And now you're in a bad attitude, and you're like, ah, I gotta like someone just like dump their baggage on me, and no, like I'm moving forward with my life every single day towards somewhere where I want to go. And I mean, for just being honest, like I don't know how else there is a way to live. It's just more fun that way when you're progressing and developing and enjoying the journey. But yeah, like I'm very intentional. Like I know exactly where I want to be. I have targets and goals, and every single day I say it to Selena. I'm like, we're one step closer. One step closer. Like we're one step closer to making the impact that we want at the level that we want. We're one step like we want to do a lot of things, and this business is going to help us be able to do all those things. And every single day, again, when you just focus on the right things, you can get there. Like again, one step closer every single day. You're not going to do it all tonight, today, but guess what? If you bring on a person a day to your team for 30 days, you have 30 people signing up. Let's just say that you aren't very good at getting people licensed and just 20% of them get a license. Well, you have 6 new agents on your team, right? I mean, that's a great start. And you're like, well, where do I find those people? So now we have problems to solve that will help you make more money. Let's go solve those problems, right? So I think being intentional, working them backwards, figuring out what you need to do to go solve them, and not feeling sorry for yourself about it. Like, welcome to work. Let's go have fun doing it?
So good. The one thing that I've kind of found to be true in this business, Tyler, is like I'm almost would rather work with somebody that has gone through some stuff and has got on the other side of that stuff. And like as you talked about, even your story coming into business, like bouncing from one house to the next, and kind of your association back then, and like that's the stuff that makes a big difference because this business will smack you in the face because it's got such a great upside. I always think it's weird when people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that none of my presentations answered today. It's like, dude, I would always be like, good. I'm glad that happened because it just is evidence to say that the payoff is going to be so good. The upside is going to be so good. And so like going through some stuff and getting on the other side of it, man, it's such a great qualifier to be successful, I think, in this business. I think a lot of people I speak to, man, they've gone through some stuff. Like they've had some stuff happen. Like life wasn't just given to them on a silver platter, right? Like nobody's got the market corner for just crap happening. But the people that have had that crap happen responded the right way, got on the other side of it, man, it's such a great indication of the success that they could have. And so I even think those are great questions to ask people in an interview process, questions that identify what are some of the biggest pain points that you've had in your life, and then what did you do to get on the other side of it? And if somebody doesn't have the answer to that, I could just give you a forecast of what their future is going to look like here. It's probably not good. It might. Maybe there's one-offs. There's always outliers, but you don't build a business on outliers. You build businesses on the rule, and you're looking for the right people. And so I love that, dude. And there's no question that you're the right person. No question.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, there's this funny story I tell sometimes where like agents used to call me and they'd be like, Tyler, honestly, the leads like kind of suck. Like, this is kind of tough. There's a lot of people telling me no. And I'd be like, I know the leads aren't very good. Like, this is really hard. Like, but you can do this. And then they'd be like, like I just can't do it. But then I started to become a better leader, and I'd be like, you know, well, hit me with your intro. What are you saying? And then they're like, well, this is what I say, and they sound terrible. And I'm like, dude, you need to say that 10 times in the mirror and like let's rep it out right now so we can make it some muscle memory. Like, do you know your address or like 123 Main Street? I'm like, why do you know your address, but you don't know the thing that can make you money? And then, right, like they're like, oh wow, maybe it's me, not the leads, right? But I had to like, find that out. But yeah.
Yeah. The leads don't suck, you do.
Yeah.
That's that's the answer in a very direct way. That is a better answer though. But that's the good news because the leads did suck, and and by the way, all leads do suck, but you can't look at them as if they suck, and it's a reason why you're not seeing success, right? That's the rub there. But I love that, man. Joe, go ahead and wrap it up, brother.
Dude, I'm gonna make you the Monday trainer every Monday because you literally covered about everything. That was fantastic, Tyler. Very obvious that you've been through some stuff and you've learned the hard way. And for everybody else that's in the process of that, pay attention. By the way, guys, stay on. We're gonna go through some numbers really fast. We didn't do it at the beginning of the call, at the top of the hour. We're gonna let Gabe do it now and Paul. But Tyler, I would close. I would close with this thought, man. Just a parting shot to everybody else. People try to measure their success in years. Greatness is not measured in years. Greatness is measured in decades. Everybody wants instantaneous results. You're not going to find a very successful person out there that didn't fall flat on their face hundreds of times. And the people that make it are the ones that learn through the failure
don't take themselves too seriously. Learn that discipline and consistency are the key to it all. And the last thought I'll give you guys, this too shall pass. If you learn that, the good stuff, don't get too excited. This too shall pass. You're on a mountaintop, there will be a valley on the way. You're in the valley, you're having a rough time, this too shall pass. If you could learn some of those principles and keep grinding your tail off, success becomes inevitable. And Tyler, you're living proof of that, man. So love you, bro. Appreciate you. Massive things coming from your squad.